My name is Arun Jagtiani, and I'm a proud St. Martin. In a few short weeks, our country is going to be heading to the polls to elect 15 new members to Parliament. There's 126 candidates from 9 different political parties that are contesting this election, and I think the entire voting population could benefit from knowing a little bit more about who these candidates are. Over the next few days, I'm going to interview a few new faces and a few political veterans. So join me, St. Martin, and let's talk politics. Let me ask you this, what about other annual events? Should we be looking into other events like we're going into right now? We're in September. Yeah. What's referred to as the dead of the off season. Yeah. Should we be looking to create other events such as the Heineken Regatta or things that can draw? And you see, the thing is, once you do that, once you take... Curacao has the Jazz Festival this month.
Exactly. Aruba have the Soul Beach.
Yeah.
We could go down to St. Kitts, St. Lucia, but a lot of that is private sector
very true.
Investment.
Yes.
But if government stimulates the idea with the private sector, I can guarantee you, because the private sector gets a direct return from this, they'll work together with government.
Of course.
The problem that you have, Arun, is the fact that government always feels like I only need a private sector when I need to pass something difficult.
Yes.
Or I need to raise taxes. You know, that is how government sees it. But coming from the private sector and going into government, I have the clear understanding of how do you work together in advance to ensure that you are building a relationship, and in that relationship now you can discuss everything, because then the trust is there, you know, the transparency is there.
Yes.
And that is what I've done also with the Carnival Committee. I told them, guys, you tell me where you want to market. We are going to market what you are telling me for next year. When I was Minister of Tourism as well, I went to the airlines. I visited most of the major airlines that come to St. Martin. For the one reason, and this was in 2014, for one reason. I wanted us to start working on programs. The same thing that you said for the 2016 off season. How would we have done that? The airlines told me they changed the equipment in the summer because of the reduction in seats that are booked in the country. So they'll go from a 757 to a 737.
Right.
So 238 passengers to 140 passengers, 150 passengers. But if you can provide the airlift, the increase in airlift.
Yes.
Because of...
At an affordable price as well.
But again, you have to work on it in advance.
Yes.
Because they told me you don't have inventory. But in the off season, our inventory, our room occupancy dropped to the 20s and 30s. That means that we have inventory.
Yes.
We just now have to work on identifying particular markets with product. South America, Europe, where they travel in the summer for longer periods, and then pull them in to a package situation where then government can say, okay, we can cooperate, we can help with the marketing. The airline put in something for the marketing, the hotels put in something for the marketing, they offer reduced rates. Then everybody together can then take that percentage up to 45%. To 50%, and build it, and then you know, if you have it built where it's running like a nice grease machine, then we could come in with an event. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same as a North Sea,
of course,
but it can be a gospel event.
Absolutely,
Heads and beds
could be
heads and beds are heads and beds.
Well said.
It could be a sporting event. It could, you know, and there are so many of these events where you can up that percentage by 8, 10, 15, 20 percentage points. But you have to know how to collaborate in order to...
Let me ask you something that's made some headlines recently. The China Pearl Project. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, mixed comments. I don't know if enough information has been released as yet, but what was your take when you first read that headline?
I was like, wow. I hope they read our documents.
Okay.
Because when I was in, again, now I have a little track record.
Sure, you always refer back.
I can refer to when I was in office.
Of course, yeah.
The university, the Chamber of Commerce and Government were working on a trilateral agreement to tap into the Chinese market. Okay. What we did, we realized that going into the Chinese market requires a lot of knowledge because of the fact that how they travel. There's over 200,000 Chinese that live in the U.S. market.
Yes.
That is a market on its own, but it's niche because they have a particular, there's a lot of culture. They travel more for educational purposes.
Sure.
So what we started off, and actually it happened, there was a Mandarin class that was given at the university.
Okay.
This Mandarin class was given to your taxi drivers, to your front office people, to your immigration officers. We opened it up to everyone so that they can start to learn the Mandarin language and understand the customs and culture of the Chinese tourists. That way, you would now have prepared the country for maybe a year or two to know when you tap into this market, it can be sustainable. Because if you just go and you say, well, okay, I'm going to build a 400-room establishment with a 700-room establishment when you do the math, and we're going to bring, you know, whatever amount of Chinese tourists to the country, then it's a culture shock because you're not prepared for it.
Correct.
So we wanted to, the approach was to sustain in a sustainable way, build the foundation that is going to be able to, in years to come, gradually grow that market to something where we can all benefit from it, and not
we
just
can offer them a user-friendly experience as opposed to a culture shock experience.
Exactly. And that is what we were doing. So when I read it, I was like, you know, I tried to get in contact with some officials at the university to find out if this was part of the discussion. Apparently it wasn't.
Okay. Do you think it's maybe a political ploy, or is this a real thing that's going to happen?
Well, the thing is, people call me naive oftentimes. If I say something, it's because it's true. So when you say something, I believe you.
Gotcha.
You understand? So
Gotcha.
if they,
so you take it at face value that this is happening,
because that is the environment we were raised in.
Yes. Yes.
You know, your word is bond. If I say that this is what it is, I remember my dad making deals with individuals and shaking hands. And then they will come back 3 weeks later, and then they will deliver on the deal.
Honor the handshake.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, if it's a political ploy, shame on them. But I can tell you, you know, the documents are there to show where we were working on a trilateral with the Chinese consulate in Curacao.
It is a global economy, and it's important that we find ways to tap into it.
You see, that is diversity, because diversifying the economy, you can also diversify your product. You know, to solve other areas.
Yes.
And you don't have to now go into a whole new industry.
Yes.
You could already be, that is part of diversification.
Yes, yeah.
But you have to do it wisely. You have to do it responsibly.
I thank you very much, Mr. Connor, for your time. I wish we could go on and on.
You know, we could talk forever.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many other topics and questions I have ringing in my head that I wanted to ask you, but in the interest of time, I'm going to have to save that for our follow-up interview, hopefully. Someday in the near future.
when we're back when we're in government.
I look forward to that. And thank you. I wish you the best of the luck on election day, September 26th.
Thank you.
Please, St. Martin voting population, go out there, go to the polls. He's the number 8 candidate on the United People's Party list, Mr. Claret Connor, no stranger to anyone in the business community. Thank you so much for coming out today. A pleasure to have you here.
Congratulations.
And best of luck. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And in closing, if you'd like to say a few words to the voters that are watching it right now,
sure.
The floor is yours.
Voters of St. Martin, you know me, as Adon said. Now I have a little track record that I can refer to. But you know, this election that is coming up is very, very important. It's going to be on the 26th of September. You have a number of individuals who have postulated themselves. I am one of them. And I'm asking you to place your confidence in me, invest your vote in a candidate that would deliver not just promises, but work. So again, I thank you for the opportunity. God bless you as He blessed St. Martin.